So let's go over here. Number one, you know that reflexive pronouns refer back to the subject. You can use a reflexive pronoun with a verb to talk about someone doing something to himself or herself. So you have cortar is to cut, right? Regular AR verb. El cocinero, the cooker. El cocinero se cortó. He cut himself. That se lets you know it. If I was saying you cut yourself, I'd say tú te cortaste. If I would say I cut myself, I would say yo me corté. So that me, te, se, right? That is what lets you know that's a reflexive pronoun part, okay? Now, if you look up cortar in a Spanish dictionary for verbs, you're going to see that cortar means to cut. And then you conjugate it like this. Yo corto, tú cortas, él corta, okay? But you could also see that it'll list it as cortarse. And cortarse will be a reflexive verb, okay? And so if it's a reflexive verb, then it means that it can be used to do it to yourself, like cortarse is one of those. So that's where you would say se cortó, or yo me corté, or tú te cortaste, all right? You can use a reflexive pronoun with a direct object. The direct object is often a part of the body or something that you put on, okay? Because you're doing it to your body when you put something on, like you put on a coat, or you put on a hat, or you put on a Band-Aid, right? A bandage. So here we have, el cocinero se cortó el dedo y se puso una curita. So you can see el dedo is the finger and una curita is a bandage. So it tells you the cook cut the finger. But you're really saying the cook cut himself the finger. Okay, that's the se right there. Let me find it. That's the se. El cocinero se cortó el dedo y se puso una curita. So see, you don't have to say se cortó su dedo. You don't have to say his finger, because that tells you it's his, because he did it to himself. And you don't have to say se puso su curita. He put on his own bandage. You can say he put on himself the bandage. Okay? Or a bandage, actually, that's a bandage instead of the. All right? Next one. The reflexive pronoun can go just before the conjugated verb, or it can be attached to the end of a present participle or infinitive. So remember, those present participles are really easy to find. You might kind of forget exactly what it is in the moment if you're not a grammar person, but they're going to be these ando kind of endings, right? This NDOs. So, esa jugadora se está vendando. So vendar, V-E-N-D-A-R, is to bandage. So she's bandaging the hand. That player to herself is bandaging the hand. That's how you would say that, okay? Or you can attach it to an infinitive, okay? So we said the present participle, but here's the infinitive. So calentándose. So calentar is to heat, right? So that's to warm up. So calentarse is to warm up, right? So las otras jugadoras están calentándose. So the other players are warming themselves up. Here's the infinitive here. La entrenadora va a ponerse un abrigo. So un abrigo is a coat, all right? So you can just kind of ignore what I just said with that one. Just focus on these two, because I already explained that one so well. All right, so on this one, la entrenadora va a ponerse un abrigo. Okay, so the trainer is going to put on herself a coat. So you have ponerse. Poner is an infinitive. It ends with er, and it's reflexive, ponerse, put on yourself. And so you can leave it there, attached to there. Now you could take that se and instead put it in front of the conjugated verb, which is va. Because va is ir, yo voy, tú vas, ella va. So you could say la entrenadora, which is ella va a ponerse un abrigo. Well, you could put that se in front of that. Ella se va a poner un abrigo. So that se could go there, or you put it in front of the conjugated verb. Remember, that's not a conjugated verb because it is in the infinitive, right? Because it's ending with er. So if you have an infinitive in there, something that ends with ER, IR, or AR, then you have the option to either tack that reflexive little piece there right to the end of that word, or you can put it in front of the conjugated verb. And just remember that this is not the conjugated verb. So you can't say la entrenadora va a se poner. That would be ridiculous. Okay, so it has to go at the end of the ER, IR, or AR, or it has to go in front of the conjugated verb. So always in a sentence, the key thing is going to be what's my subject and what's my verb. That really helps, okay? Really helps. You've got to be really solid because you can get thrown off thinking a me is a subject or you forget where your verb is. You think poner is your verb when it's not. Va is, because va is kind of a tricky one because it's irregular, so you don't realize it's ir or something like that, okay? These are kind of easy when you have anyway, I'll move on. All right, number 3. The reflexive pronoun is attached to the end of the verb in affirmative commands. Okay, so when you're telling somebody to do something, you can attach it to the end of the verb. It is placed just before the verb in negative commands. When you're telling somebody, don't you do that, okay? So lavar is to wash. So lávate las manos. To tell somebody, wash your hands, you would say lávate. Okay? If I was telling you, wash my hands, okay, let's say that for whatever reason, I need you to wash my hands. I can't do it myself. I would say, lávame las manos. Okay? If I was telling you to wash your little brother's hands for him, I would tell you, lávale las manos. Maybe I'd say, lávale las manos a tu hermano. Okay? And then you have ponte una curita. Una curita is a bandage. So you would say, from poner, you would say ponerse is the reflexive. Lavarse is the reflexive for wash yourself. So ponte una curita is how I would tell you put onto yourself a Band-Aid. If I was asking you to please put a Band-Aid on me, because you know how sometimes that can be hard to put them on yourselves, I would ask you, ponme una curita por favor. Put a Band-Aid on me, please. If I was telling you, please put a Band-Aid on your little brother, I would say, por favor, ponle una curita a tu hermano. Okay. Now, when you do the negative, you have to put that in front of the verb. No te quites los zapatos. Don't you take off your shoes. Okay. So don't try to. When it's a negative, remember you have to put it's placed before the verb in negative commands. Okay. So it kind of makes sense because when you have the no right in front of the verb anyway, so then right in front of the verb before right after the no and right before the verb, it makes sense to have that little mete se business there. All right. So that was a really long video, 16 minutes. I apologize.